Zoltan's Avacados. He thought flirt and money were enough to woo me, as if I had not tasted the sickly sweet of other men's charms, equally void of substance or interest in me. As if I should be grateful, as if I had not treated myself to the best restaurants or been flown across the world by better men. He gave me a bag of avocados from his family's farm, half of them rotten. He presented these as a present just for me, though with one look, it was clear I was doing him the favor, as if I could not see the mold or know his negligence, his lack of respect in even this. When I returned home, I threw the rotten into the compost and took the rest, their ripeness on the verge of garish, still lush, soft, bursting. I opened the fruit, gently pushed the pit, and spread the meat onto my bread. I added salt to season his falsehoods with grounding and to please my tongue in a way he will never know. The slightly melancholic goat. The girl loved her goat, let him clamber on top of her bicycle as she rode around town, gave it all her sprouts and corned beef, groomed its coat, and when he was very good, she would feed him poison oak that she kept in the greenhouse, away from her brothers and their sensitive skin. But sometimes, more often lately, the goat felt constrained by the girl's attentions. He wanted to leave her yard, climb a mountain, eat some garbage, and drink sour creek water with the Pupukea llamas. They told the most outlandish stories once they had some creek water in them. He didn't know how to ask for this. She would talk and talk, tell him her secrets, dark thoughts about girls at school, simple longing for crushes that seemed destined to fail, as even he could see these boys preferred broader shoulders and deeper voices than she would ever have, even with the inevitable whiskey and gin. She would share so much of herself, he felt selfish. He loved her, welcomed her treats, brushes, and the wind in his hair as she glided down hills. He looked forward to their quiet nuzzling when she would read, but he felt like half a goat. No, that wasn't it. He could rut with the best of them, but he didn't want to anymore. He wanted a way out of this Townes Van Zandt melancholy, a way toward his friends, his thoughts, his instincts, a way back to himself. Super Smalls had it all. There was a time when the rat was ashamed of his stature, when he longed for the long limbs of goats or the exotic necks of giraffes. He saw how the young girl rats would lick their paws, smooth their hair back, and run up drain pipes simply to watch these creatures walk by. That was before college. Here in the men's room at the dorm, he was king, able to get pot and snacks without being caught. He was, as a result, well-liked, and for those who cared to step on his turf, question the quality of his stash, or sneak a look at one of his rotating groupie girlfriends, he would defecate in their food without a trace or bite them and apologize later for the rabies. He'd been clean for diseases for years now, though. He reveled in his smallness, encouraged young rats to keep themselves at prepubescent statures, told them to stop eating meat scraps and dairy, insisted on raw and vegan diets and workout schedules that were merciless, running and weightlifting until rat jockeys, had they existed, would have envied his minions. Super Smalls had it all was his motto, and he changed his name to SS for his burgeoning rap career, and SS was the logo for his inevitable fashion line. but he could not stop. Drunk with power and ambition, and yes, talent, he worked and worked, trained and mentored, forgetting to pause, to eat, to love, until he shrank so small we could not hear his voice, and then smaller still, until he could not be seen, and finally, until we forgot he was there.